The Haley O Show. Every Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Only on balls.co.za.
You're listening to the Haley O Show this Friday, and our first guest has just come into studio. We've got Steve Peralta in studio. Morning, Steve.
Morning, Haley.
Do you want to just put the mic a bit closer
Yes.
to your mouth there? So thanks for coming in and chatting to us. And Steve's actually going to be a regular here on the Haley O Show, but we're going to tell you a little bit more about that later. First, I need to tell everyone that we're giving away 2 double sets of movie tickets to the premiere of The Host. Now, The Host is the latest Ster-Kinekor release from the makers of Twilight. You're a Twilight fan, Steve, by any chance?
No, can't say I am.
Okay, well, I saw this movie last night, and my opinion is, if you love Twilight, you're going to love this film.
Okay.
And I really found myself enjoying it most of the time. That's what I'll say. There were a few moments that I thought were a little ridiculous, but believe me, if you're a fan of Twilight, you will love The Host. And there's a lot of eye candy for the ladies as well. So if you'd like to head down to Rosebank this evening and check out that movie, we're going to be giving away 2 sets of double tickets, 1 set in the first hour of the show and another set in the second hour. And we're going to be asking you the all-impossible question on Twitter. Name one other movie that the makers of The Host have been involved in. So you can just tweet your answer to @BallsRadio or Haley Owen SA, and we'll send you those double tickets. Please, if you have any questions for any of our guests in studio today, please do send me a tweet on Haley Owen SA, or of course you can tweet us at BallsRadio. BallsRadio. That's it. Cool. So now Steve's in studio today, and like I said, you might remember him as the singer-songwriter, as the finalist from Project Fame, as Six Pack Steve, or Glamour Magazine's Sexiest Musician of the Year. But Steve, I can't resist. I have to tell people how we met. Am I allowed to?
Yes, do it, of course.
When was that? Can you remember what year it was?
Probably about, I think it was like 2006, maybe?
2006. So I was at drama school at Wits, and these guys from a reality dating show came around and asked who wants to be a contestant on a dating show. And my friends all very, very quickly nominated myself. And Steve was the celebrity guest on this dating show that you could win a date with. And I was one of the eager contestants trying to get a date with Steve. And he picked me. Thanks,
Yes,
Steve.
I did.
It was my karaoke skills, I'm sure. And Steve and I went on a blind date to a wildlife rehabilitation center, which was quite nice. Hey?
Yeah, it was cool.
I remember it was a very early morning.
Yeah, definitely.
And my dad watched the broadcast and said, "Why didn't you wear any makeup?" But yeah, so that's how Steve and I met. Never saw each other again after that until my sister and I were on a cruise in the Mediterranean, and you were performing on the cruise. As the curtains opened on the first night performance, there was Steve as the lead singer. Hey, how was that performing on a cruise ship?
It's brilliant for a while, but then you're on there for like 6 to 8 months, so then it becomes a bit tedious. But it's a great way to see the world.
Did you see some
Yeah.
fabulous places?
Yeah, we toured Mediterranean, Brazil, South America. We did Caribbean. It was great.
Sure.
There's something I just want to repeat. You left this out of our date. I got farted on by an elephant in my face. I don't know if you remember that. But it was captured on TV, so that was what I remember the most.
Oh
It
my
was awesome.
gosh, yeah. So Steve and I have had an interesting beginning, but it was great to catch up with him recently. And from being like a muso a couple of years ago in South Africa, he's now returned from London with a completely different energy. So we're going to be chatting to Steve about his new projects in just a moment, and you'll see what he's getting up to now. All right, we're in studio with Steve Peralta, and like I said, Steve's come back from, was it 3 years in London?
Yeah, about 3 years.
3 years in London, with a slightly different focus to music, hey?
Yeah.
So tell us what you were doing over there, and what your new project's all about.
Sure. So I've essentially been studying and working for the past, say, 3 years in London. And I've become a certified, what's called a Czech practitioner. Czech practitioner, yeah.
Okay.
So it stands for Corrective Holistic Exercise Kinesiologist. So we deal with corrective and high performance exercise, taking people out of pain towards sort of optimal function and performance. And then I'm also a certified holistic lifestyle nutritional coach. So I try and combine the two to create like an integrated wellness offering for my clients, essentially.
So you would call yourself a wellness coach if you were to incorporate all of it together?
Integrative wellness coach.
Integrative
wellness coach,
because it incorporates a whole lot of
yeah.
areas. But now, how did you move from music to wellness?
Sure. I'd say about 4 years ago, I love music. It's my ultimate passion. But I just felt I needed or wanted to do something where I was interacting with people more and helping people. It may sound cheesy, but that's what I felt. And I've always been into, for my own growth in that sort of mind, body, spirit growth and development. And I had an idea of one day being able to help people in that regard. And so I went to the UK. I started off on the physical side of it by becoming a personal trainer and all of that. And then I found this institute in the United States called the Czech Institute. And it was doing pretty much what I wanted to do. It's integrative, it's body, it's mind, it's spirit, if you want to go there. And it's very deep. You can really get to the root cause of people's issues and then address them and then take them to optimal wellness. So it's been studying that for 3 years, and that's what I'm doing now.
So optimal wellness. So what kind of issues or problems would people come to you with?
Sure. From the physical side, it's very often back pain. So I think about 85% of people experience back pain. So
really, 85%?
Yes, yeah, and it's normally because of sitting all day and all that kind of stuff.
On the computer.
So from that perspective, it's very often back pain. From another perspective, it's lack of energy, it's insomnia, it's feeling overly stressed, it's being overweight, skin issues, everything. And it's all essentially will come down to one or two root issues that I try and identify and then work through.
So anything from weight issues to skin issues to insomnia, you can handle. You're the guru.
Not the guru yet.
But you're right in that a lot of these issues do kind of boil down to, one key issue.
Sure.
And it's just about identifying that, eh?
Sure.
And tell me, so do you have a place where you practice from, or how do people get in touch with you?
Yes. I work out of Design Quarter.
Okay.
So there's a center called the Techno Gym Wellness Center. And I have an office and studio space over there.
Okay, and how would people get in touch with you if they're interested?
They can find me on my website at healcoaching.com.
Okay.
So HEAL's my company's name. It stands for Holistic Energized Artful Living.
Okay.
You can find me on Facebook. The little thingy at the end of facebook.com is Wellness Johannesburg. What's that called?
The forward slash.
That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's really if you want holistic healing.
Authentic
I know that
healing.
sounds hippie.
No, sure.
But really,
authentic wellness.
Mind, body, soul.
Yeah.
Healing. And it can be physical issues as well.
Definitely, yeah.
Is that what you deal with mostly, like physical?
Mostly it's physical issues, but often you'll find that the underlying cause may be deeper than just the physical. So that's when you bring in the other stuff. But it's always physical manifestations of it that people
And if people want to quit smoking?
Yeah, so that can take some time, but it's a choice at the end of the day, but you can maybe start off by going organic tobacco, which is a better option, and work your way down to weaning yourself off it.
Does organic tobacco come in cigarette form?
I think you can get organic. I'm not sure if you can get it here in South Africa, but otherwise you get organic tobacco. I suppose rolling your own cigarettes makes you more mindful of the act, so maybe that's a good step as well.
Okay.
But the more healthy you become, the less you'll probably want to smoke.
Sure. And people that have weight issues, how would you say your treatment compares to going to a dietitian, for example?
Each has its own place. I incorporate nutritional advice as well as movement advice as well as lifestyle coaching. So it's holistic in that sense. And what we aim to do is empower the client so they can make it a lifelong lifestyle as such. It's easy to help someone lose weight in a month. You can just
hit them with a diet.
Yeah, exactly. Eat protein, go on a diet, whatever. But that's not sustainable.
Okay.
So the aim is to create a sustainable lifestyle, essentially.
Okay, so
with
you, it wouldn't just be giving them a diet plan. It would be giving them an exercise plan,
yes,
maybe a different perspective, all that kind of thing.
The crucial difference here is that it's tailor-made for the individual. So what I do is very assessment-based. So we'll undergo a lot of assessments at the outset to determine their nutritional type, their metabolic type, which dictates your ratio of protein, fat, carbohydrates, and then find out your specific imbalances, which we'll address. So it's all very individual in that respect. It's no cookie cutter.
And how long does the process take? How long does it take to make me holistically balanced?
Yeah, it's different for everyone. You'll start feeling differences very soon on. I mean, you can feel it in a few weeks, but long-term change can often take as long as it took to happen, or it depends on the kind of issue. But yeah, I mean, give yourself 3 to 6 months, but it's a lifelong thing. You want, optimal health, and it's not the sake of just becoming healthy for health's sake. It's creating more energy so that you can live a better life, follow your dreams, and all of that.
Well, it sounds good. I want to speak to you after the next song about how you stay balanced and how you keep yourself healthy in all these kind of areas. Okay. We want to play one of your songs that we've got on the system here. Let me just find it. Oh, it's gone off our system. I'll find it after this. Let's play some Michael Jackson, then we'll get to one of Steve Peralta's songs. Hi there, you're listening to the Haley Show on Balls Visual Radio. We've got wellness coach Steve Peralta in studio with us today. We played one of his songs just before that, and we're going to be playing another one in just a few moments' time. Muso turned wellness coach. Steve, how does that sound to you? Do you miss the music?
Yeah, I went through a stage of missing it, but I'm getting back into it now. It's quite tough to do 2 things at once, but I'm working on it now.
And you said that in the previous song we played, the lyrics were about choosing kind of a new path in life. I mean, what for other people that are kind of considering doing something like that, how did you make the leap and say, do you know what, I'm going to start something new?
I just did it, hey? But I mean, I think the way to do it is define what your values are, see if your life's currently aligned with your values and your vision. If it's not, then just change, eh? I've changed up quite a few times, but yeah, just change.
And someone tweeted, sorry, it's not 6-pack Steve, it's 8-pack Steve. Steve, are you still keeping really fit, and how do you make sure that you kind of embody this holistic lifestyle, the lifestyle you encourage?
Well, I mean, I try and walk the talk kind of thing, so follow the principles that I teach my clients. But at the same time, I also follow what I call the 80-20 rule. So I'm not like some ascetic monk. I look after myself 80% of the time, and then so I can throw a few knocks at myself 20% of the time.
When last did you have a cheeseburger?
A long time. So, yeah, I don't really ever crave that kind of stuff. My knocks are the occasional beer and that kind of stuff, I like to eat well all the time, pretty much. I don't,
Chuckles? Woolies Chuckles?
I have chocolate sometimes.
Did you have a chocolate at Easter?
Yes, of course.
Okay, and when last did you have a beer?
On the weekend.
Okay, all right. So I like kind of 80-20
yeah, it works.
idea. I try and stick to something like that. Like I try and be healthy during the week, and then on the weekend I'm just like, stuff it, I'll live however I want.
Sure.
Okay, so Steve is what you call an integrative wellness coach, where people can go to him for physical ailments or kind of mental ailments if they want to kind of put themselves on the right path, mind, body, soul. Hey?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, and Steve's just founded Heal Coaching, which you'll find in Design Quarter. But to pay homage from where Steve comes from, we're going to play another one of his songs. This one's called Hang In There Now.
Yes.
And when did you write this one?
I wrote this about 2 years ago, and this particular one's it's a live recording we did in the studio, so it's a one-take track.
Okay, enjoy. Steve's tunes here on the Haley O Show. What's it like hearing your songs that you've written and composed on the radio?
If I like them, it's good. If I don't like them, then it's not so good.
And you were saying if people want to get hold of your music, they must just kind of watch the space because you're going to be getting involved with the new
things are in
management.
the process of happening, yeah.
Okay, so you are still going to pursue your music here?
Yes, I'd like to somehow integrate the 2 things I do. So,
okay.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so now I'm very excited to announce that every week Steve's going to come onto the Haley O Show and he's going to do a wellness feature. He's going to give us a little bit of advice. If you go onto his website, you'll see that he has a list of blogs there. And some of them are mindful indulgence, or it could be mindful boozing. I read that one. Another blog title is Why Women Shouldn't Diet. Love that one. And another one is When Coffee is Good for You. So these are examples of some of the blogs on Steve's website. So he's going to be taking the blogs that he writes on his website and just chatting to us each week about a specific topic. And you can always send in your questions for him or concerns that you have, and Steve will address them. It's a bit of it sounds very Dr. Phil, hey?
Please, no.
But yeah, so it will just be a short wellness feature every week where we'll be talking nutrition, we'll be talking exercise, we'll be talking diet, and that kind of thing. Hey, Steve?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so that's going to be every week here for 10 minutes on the Haley Show. And I've asked Steve if he'll give us his first words of advice today. I brought him in here for an interview, and I'm now going to pick his brain for his first kind of tip that he can give us.
Cool.
So go for it.
Okay, well...
Make us healthy.
As it's the first one, I thought I'd start with something fairly basic and simple and foundational. So I want to chat about the 6 foundational principles for health and optimal well-being. So I'll just briefly run through them. If there's anything else you want to know, Haley, while I'm talking, then ask the question. But otherwise,
Okay.
I'll just sort of briefly run through them. So first one of the first principles to mindfully address in one's life is one's breathing. So most people breathe at what's called an inverted breathing pattern. And that's essentially due to the stresses of modern day living. These stresses activate what's called our fight or flight response, which sort of primes us to either fight or to flee. So it shunts away blood from our organs to our muscles so we can act. If we have that going on a continuous sort of basis throughout the day because of basic stresses of work and all that kind of thing, then we activate this system but we do nothing about it, so it's chronic. And if you think about it, when you need to run away from something, you need to breathe into the chest. So this is what happens. You start breathing from the chest throughout the whole day. And it's a vicious cycle. It sort of releases more stress hormones, breaks down tissue in the body, and essentially creates less than optimal health.
So you're saying that the way you're breathing will affect your stress levels?
Definitely, and your health.
Okay.
So the way you want to breathe is deeply through the nose so that your stomach inflates. So if you watch a baby breathe, you'll see this is the natural thing that happens. And then over life, stresses happen and it inverts as such. But you can practice breathing deeply through your nose, that your stomach inflates, followed by your rib cage, and then only lastly, the last third would be your chest.
See, everyone's sitting up straight.
Probably like
Sonny.
checking. But yeah, so you can practice that lying down before bed. You can also, the healthier you become and the less stressed your life becomes, the easier your breathing will become too. But that's the first step. Check your breathing.
So breathing.
Yeah. Second step, one's thoughts. So that's quite a sort of a trendy thing right now, positive thinking and all of that. But in this respect, it's more to do with the physiological effects that negative thinking or stressful thinking has on your body. So just like the breathing, when you think negatively or you worry, you fear, you anger, etc., our reptilian brain, so that sounds quite sci-fi, but that's our most primitive, innermost part of our brain, which dictates our survival reflexes. That sees all those negative thinking as a threat. It thinks that, you're in trouble, and it does a whole fight or flight system again. And so you stress throughout the whole day, and it can be dictated by your thoughts.
How do you change your thoughts?
Yeah,
though?
sure. So that's obviously quite difficult. A good first place to start would be something like meditation, where you just become mindful of your thoughts. Secondly, and this is something I alluded to earlier, I think create a vision for your life and write it down and become clear about it. Then create goals based on that vision. Then decide what actions align with those goals. And then when you start becoming mindful of that, then you're in that positive space and it starts generating essentially
when
more,
you're
more
working
positivity.
towards
Yeah.
something.
When you're not and you're just letting life throw you around, that it's always worry, fear, stress, that kind of stuff. So
I
that's
relate to that.
my advice, yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
so third
That's your
third
second
point.
one. So third one is rest. The most obvious part of rest being sleep. So most people in today's modern world don't sleep enough, and those that are sleeping sleep with poor quality sleep. And again, it comes down to stress. So when I say stress, I don't just mean mental stress. You can have stress caused by poor nutrition, not exercising enough, poor lifestyle, essentially. But when we don't sleep properly, then that has a knock-on effect on our health. One night you can sort of get away with it, but when it starts becoming chronic, then it depletes your energy and imbalances the whole body. So ideally, and many people might think this is crazy, but ideally you want to sleep between 10 and 6. 10 in the night and 6 in the morning. Now, for a lot of night owls, that might seem...
10 and 6.
So a lot of them might think, oh, geez, what happened?
How many hours is that?
That's
8. 8 hours. Okay.
The reason being is that our circadian rhythm dictates our hormonal cycle. So circadian rhythm is our relationship to the sun, and it's what our body, it's 24-hour rhythm.
Okay.
And our body's processes work around that. So between 10 and 2 in the morning, that's when our hormones literally start repairing our physical parts of our body. So our muscles, our bones.
Between 10 and 2?
Between 10 and 2. But you need to be asleep for that parasympathetic system to start working.
Okay.
So if you're not asleep, then you're essentially missing out on that crucial repair period.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then between 2 and 6, it's your psychogenic repair, which is your mental repair.
Okay.
So, for example, last night, I woke up this morning at 4:30. I had stuff to do. But I missed out on 1.5 hours of mental repair, and I feel a little bit...
So that's going to affect your alertness.
It will. But for one day, that's fine.
But physically, you'll be fine because you were asleep until 2.
Exactly. But if you do this on a consistent basis, then it'll have a knock-on effect.
Okay.
So watch your sleep. Some quick little tips for sleep is be consistent to try and go to bed similar time each night. As much darkness as possible. Any little bit of light will interfere with melatonin production, which is your sleep hormone.
Okay.
Try and eat well. I'll get to that just now, but eat well during the day. Balanced meals, so you keep your blood sugar levels balanced.
Don't have a beagle and a Jack Russell on your bed.
Oh, maybe you should. I love dogs, so I don't know. But yeah, essentially just aim for good quality sleep.
Okay.
So that's 3, hey?
We've got breathing, think positive, rest well. 4.
Sure. Fourth one is hydration. So people aren't drinking enough water, essentially. So this is the easiest one that we can take a hold of. There's conflicting evidence and theories. Well, not evidence, conflicting theories, but a very good book is a book called Your Body's Many Cries for Water by Dr. Batman Jolly. Dr. Batman. But he recommends you drink 0.033 times your body weight in kilograms, and that'll be your liters per day. So for me, I'm 80 kilograms. I'll times it by 0.033, and I'll drink around about 2.64 liters a day.
Sorry, how many liters a day?
For me, about 2.64.
2.
So for you, you're obviously lighter than me, and you would drink a little bit less. But you want to aim for between 2 and 3.
I mean, we all know this. Hey, I mean, we've always been told to drink lots of water.
Exactly.
But, I mean, maybe now when it gets cold in winter, it's also harder to drink lots of water.
Definitely. So in the summer, you'll need more water. But a few little tips would be when you wake up, the first thing you should do is drink 2 glasses of water.
2 glasses,
and ideally it'd be warm, and it'll have a bit of lemon and a bit of sea salt in it.
Sea salt?
So sea salt
Doesn't that dehydrate you though?
Mm-mm. If it's good quality sea salt, it'll help with the uptake of water into your cells. And it'll also just mineralize the content of the water to make it better for you, essentially. And then the lemon juice helps with digestion. So it's a good thing to do first thing in the morning.
Okay.
And then just try and drink every hour or so, a glass or 2 throughout the day.
Okay.
So that's important, very important. Okay. Then number 5 is food. So again, another one that we can make a quick, direct change in our life. So most people are either eating on the run, they're eating processed food. Well, I don't want to say most people, but a lot of people are. And this is having a big impact on their energy levels and their health. So without going into too much depth, the main point is to focus on real food, essentially. So
as in fresh food?
Yeah, food that was here 10,000 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, not man-made food that's been around for 100 years, even less,
Sure.
So processed packaged food, it's just going to have a negative effect on your body and your level of health.
Okay.
So, yeah, real food.
Real food.
You can go deeper than that, like I mentioned before, by eating according to your specific metabolic type.
Okay, but people have to book an appointment with you to hear about that.
So we won't do that. Okay. Try and avoid things like too much processed sugar, processed refined carbohydrates. It just messes up with your blood sugar levels throughout the day.
What do you think of Canderel?
No, not good. So things like sugar sweeteners and that they're filled with other additives and preservatives and artificial, which wreak havoc with your health. Rather go for, like raw honey if you want a little bit of sweetening. Something called stevia is a good alternative.
Sweetener. Okay. All right, so that's 5, eat real food.
Yeah.
And the last one?
Last one is movement. So many of us, like I've said already, are seated for much of the day, so we're not moving enough. Our body is designed to move, and it functions best when it moves. So we have something called biological pumps, which is our diaphragm, our abdominal muscles, and our pelvic floor, which contracts and pushes blood, water, and oxygen up and down the body. So that's obviously very vital for proper functioning. When we don't move, that doesn't work. So we become stagnant in a sense.
And lethargic.
Yeah, definitely. Also, posture degenerates. The typical thing is rounded shoulders, forward head, flattened back. And that just causes depleted energy and pain. So you need to try and move more. So, for example, if you're someone that works in the office all day, you want to try and take 1 hour movement breaks. Now,
1 hour movement breaks, as in
sorry,
get your ass to the
hour.
gym.
No. Every hour, get up, do 10 squats, a few stretches, and sit back down. So now most people think, geez, I'm not going to do it in front of people.
Office,
no one else does it. But, if you keep on doing what you've always done, you'll keep on getting what you always get.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
that's the thing.
So,
and all of these principles are pretty simple, and we've heard most of them before. It's just flipping applying them. Hey?
Definitely, just becoming mindful of them, knowing what the optimal choices throughout the day are, and just doing them, yeah.
So let's go through those again. So these are the 6, what did you call them?
Call them the foundational principles for optimal well-being.
The principle?
Foundational principles.
Foundational principles for optimal well-being.
Yeah.
Basically things you should be doing no matter what.
Yes, I mean, it's stuff that people can do by themselves and literally take control of their own health. Yeah. Simple but powerful steps.
Okay, so the first one was breathing, basically breathing deeply,
Through the
not
nose.
shallow breaths that are just going to cause stress.
Yeah.
Okay. Second one, positive thinking.
Well,
Kind of working
becoming
towards a
mindful
goal.
of your thinking and eliminating the stressful negative thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like what you said about if you're working towards a goal and you're not all over the place, it gives you a lot less stress.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then rest, simple.
Very crucial. Yeah.
Try
Sleep
and get
more,
as much
take little mini breaks during the day and rest.
zen breaks. And hydration, another thing we can easily do. You said you should take your weight and times it by 0.33.
0.033.
0.033
Yeah.
to see how many liters of water you
I
should
just want
drink.
to quickly say the quality of the water is important as well. So generally tap water is not going to be ideal. It's filled with fluoride and a few other things.
Oh, really?
So ideally you want to filter your own water. Now I know that sounds expensive, but you can get desktop filters, which you've actually got one outside.
Oh.
So it filters the tap water and then it remineralizes it through a sort of a 7-step mineralization process. And it's fairly inexpensive, so you can get that at home.
But if you don't have that, is tap water okay?
It's
better than
it's
not
better than not
drinking.
drinking water,
Yeah,
definitely.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that was 4th. Then 5th is to eat real food, not processed sugars, processed
Yes.
carbohydrates.
Ideally organic food if you can as well.
Ideally. Okay.
Organic meat, organic veg and fruit.
And the last one was move. Move.
Move more.
Okay. Cool. Well, thanks, Steve. I think those are all very doable, which I
Yeah,
like.
definitely.
Cool. And then next week, Steve will be back with a few more simple tips on how you can improve your wellness. And yeah, keep them in mind. Of course, you can always go to his website. What's your website, Steve?
It's www.healcoaching.com.
Okay, and you can read his blogs. Some of his blogs I had a look through. Some of the ones that caught my attention: mindful boozing, mindful indulgence. That's what I had this weekend in Cape Town. Why women shouldn't diet, and when coffee is good for you. So, yeah, kind of topics we can all relate to. So, thanks for coming in, Steve, and letting us
Pleasure.
play your songs.
No, thank you.
Really,
It's been
really
awesome.
loving your music. Hope some more come out very, very soon.
Definitely.
And all the best with Heal Coaching. But
Thank you
we'll
very
stay
much.
in touch every week.
Cheers. Thanks so much.
The Haley O Show. Every Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Only on bulls.co.za.